We have a few questions for you. Question number 1. What are your plans for today? Question number 2. What are your plans for tomorrow? Question 3. What do you intend to do next year? Ask these questions with regard to your own self and honestly. Then ask the same questions again with regard to your family, your children, your spouses, your parents, your grandparents, kinsmen and kinswomen, and your friends. And if you are not overwhelmed yet, then extend the self-same questions to your community. In all likelihood, you have been driven to the point and place where you no longer ask this type of questions of yourself. You just wake up, if at all, then follow the day as it moves you along. Not as you move along in the day, but the day moves you along. Then at night, the darkness takes you in its frightful grip, only to deliver you, fully battered, unto the coming day, which will be no better than the previous day, and which holds the same soul-sucking emptiness. For your information, the rest of the world does not live that way. No, just in case you should want to console yourself thus. No, the world cannot even imagine that anywhere on this planet people will live like you do. Please believe us, we know what we are talking about. And for that matter, as bad as things are all over Nigeria in general, no group has it as terrible as you do. Tell us this, do you think that Abuja has an idea what you are really going through? Or is it Kano, Kaduna, or Jos, Sokoto, Lagos, Ibadan, even Benin City and Lokoja? Do you think they know how bad you're suffering? No, because in those places, people still make plans to live as normal human beings, which means taking care of today's affairs, tomorrow and the future for themselves, for their families and friends, and for their communities. People there have some hope, but there is nothing in your way of living today at this time which speaks of hope. Never mind having such hope. It isn't there. It is not there. We know that. We know some of you are now tempted to answer, quote unquote, oh, everything is okay. But we know that it is not okay. You also know that. So let us remind you, just in case. Last night, you went to bed as soon as it got dark for at least 2 reasons. First being that there is no electricity to support after dark living and fun activities like we used to know it before the 1960s. And second, you are afraid of armed robbers who often send you a message as to when to expect them. And we all know they will keep the appointment, and you dare not be absent when they arrive to rob you. At this time, though, kidnappers are feared more than armed robbers, and you know that. Your room was double locked from the inside. Your windows have stronger and tighter iron bars than those in jailhouses. And heaven forbid that a fire should break out inside, perhaps started by a lit candle, assuming you can afford one. Then you will certainly roast therein, because no one can get in from the outside to help you, and you won't even be able to unlock the door from the inside when the heat is on. You wake up in the morning and there is not much water for a quick wash. Food is scarce, and a change of clothing is an unthinkable luxury. If you have a job, you are not being paid. A labor strike would be a welcome rationalization, but for the most part, your earned salary is being withheld from you for no reason at all. Staying home, going to work, and being on the streets is all the same. No meaningful activity, no gainful employment, no enrollment in self-improvement education. Danger stalks you all day long, from criminals, from rogues, from politicians, from kidnappers, from accidents waiting to happen, from starvation, from malnutrition, from disease, from the Nigerian police, the Nigerian military, and from the Hausa cattle rearers who are overtaking your cities now. It's getting dark again, so you hurry home. If you stayed home for the day, you just change gears and prepare to retire for the night. Then the cycle repeats itself, day after numbing day, night after darkest night. You stopped thinking about school for yourself and for your children, right? Of course, because there is no educational system left in place. Foreign institutions are out of question because there is no way to afford that. What about job opportunities? You stopped thinking about job opportunities because Nigeria's punitive policies against our people have led to the denial of labor infrastructure such as reliable power source, reliable water source, reliable trade system, and reliable transportation to move goods and personnel around, thereby making it impossible for industries and factories to exist in order to hire and pay workers such as you and supply demand to those who want it. You pray and fast so frequently for no reward at all that it would seem to an observer that your God is deaf or enjoys seeing you starving and suffering. Otherwise, it is you that are blind and deaf because you are not willing to see and to hear the answers provided by God. Next, you try to join politics, the quote do or die politics typical of Nigeria, which for you ends up being do and die, or even don't and still die. Your lot in life, if you have one, is even poorer than your luck. We are sure you have already notified your relatives, especially those abroad, not to visit because it is no longer safe for them to come back or to visit their own home, their own homeland. You yourself can't travel freely in our homeland for fear of armed robbers, police extortion and murderers. You can't travel outside our own enclave for fear of terrorism and jihad targeted against our people. You can't even relax for fear that kidnappers can strike anytime and anywhere, where your loved ones can be the victim, either the kidnapped or the one who will not be able to come up with the ransom, thus practically guaranteeing the death of your loved one. So please, don't tell us the obvious lie that, quote, everything is okay, unquote. We know, and you know, that it is not. Why don't we have electricity? Why don't we have water? Why don't we have industries? Why don't we have functioning schools? Why don't we have jobs? We have manpower. We have human resources. We have brain power, enviable, world-renowned, and world-proven talents that Nigeria wants to kill us for. Yes, we have brain power. We have material resources, and we have natural resources, enough to rank among the wealthiest in the world. We can live in proper security. Why don't we have hope? Ask yourself, why? Then listen to the answer. In Biafra, as Biafra, we will have all these things which are really already ours, and more. Then gone will be these awful endless days and woeful times of depravity that force us to live many rungs below the level of even wild and rabid animals. And Biafra is just waiting for us to actualize. Getting our Biafra does not depend on Nigeria. No, it does not depend on the world either. We are a nation, a race. That is natural. That is our nature. We are entitled to self-determination rights. Such rights are God-given, though even the United Nations now agrees. But until we assert our right, this right to self-determination, long may we suffer and grovel and pine away needlessly. So it really depends on us. Affirm to yourself today that you will join us in the struggle to assert Biafra's right to sovereignty and independence. Biafra's rights of sovereignty and independence.